Welcome back to another episode of the Tracy Take. Today, we are going to be going through the rookie quarterbacks and kind of talking about some of what we heard in training camp and reviewing their first week of the preseason. And, it's overreacting season. Everyone is so hyped about their new quarterbacks that they can only watch those 80-yard bombs. And I think that is kind of the case here with Trey Lance. But before we actually get into it, I do just want to go ahead and say, if you guys have not already, go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below after you hear and agree with or disagree with our opinions. It doesn't matter. We just want you guys to be active in our community. So, getting into Trey Lance, Tyler, a lot of people are fixated on that 80-yard bomb, and I do feel like that is a slight misrepresentation of his performance, but I am curious to get your opinion first.
Yeah, so I think just talking specifically on that 80-yard bomb play, I think that is going to be. Sorry, there's a fly there. I think that is a caricature of what the San Francisco offense can become. It was a great design play by Kyle Shanahan. Trey Lance did a phenomenal job rolling out to the right, using his eyes to direct all the safeties and everything to the left so that he can hit the receiver, Trent Sherfield, while he's cutting the other way. So I think that was a good caricature of what that offense will turn into over the next couple of years once Trey Lance gets a little more experience and improves his game a little bit. But that being said, overall, though, I would kind of give this performance, I would say, a C. I think if you take that touchdown away, it was an 80-yard touchdown. He would have gone 4 for 13 for 48 yards. Sorry to do my math there for a second.
Yeah,
and some of those, he did have several drops, and I'm sure people in the comments will say that. And he did get sacked a couple times. And a couple of those were poor offensive line, not helping him out. But this is something I think he'll need to – one of the things he needs to learn and develop is felt he was hanging on to the ball too much, trying to make something happen, stay in the pocket. Where if you watch some of the other quarterbacks, and it was their first NFL game, some of them felt a little bit more polished in the pocket and knew that internal clock was or they had an internal clock. So I think that was my overall kind of view of Trey Lance. I think he did a good job, so to say, as first game coming in. Didn't get some help with some of his players, but still also a lot of good work that needs to be done for him to improve.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. If you take away that 80-yard touchdown, he also had another play that was a 32-yard pass to a tight end, which amounted for over 90% of his yards. And like you said, he did have some drops. There was one play in particular that I kind of want to highlight with one of his drops because the receiver did drop it, but he was also much later on his reads. Or on his read on that play than he should have been. And the thing that is confusing for me is he made this read earlier just to the opposite side of the field earlier in the game. And so for me, he was late on that read. He just had the arm strength to make up for it. And then the receiver dropped it. And so I think he was a little bit earlier and had a little less pace on the ball, then the receiver probably would have caught the ball.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things for me. He did hold on to the ball too long, but his receivers also, like you said, weren't really helping him out. And then it also didn't help that he was playing with a second-string offensive line against Chris Jones for the second quarter. So it was just very much – I don't know. I think people are slightly overreacting to what he has done. And I do really think that he showed glimpses of why they drafted him at number 3.
Yeah, and that's what with that 80-yard play, I think it showed all the things that they liked about Trey Lance. But then if you look at the whole big picture of the game, definitely some things that need to be worked on, and reasons for me on why he won't see the playing field this year unless Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, and potentially. Not even then. I think is Nick Mullins the
No, he's in Philly. I forget. It's Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen is the other guy.
Oh,
but I doubt
is it? Okay.
If
I need to check that. But just what I was going to say though is there was just some that inconsistency, but it would be interesting to kind of see if he did get some first team reps, some live action play, just kind of see how he would do on possession. Just because I think that would also give even more information on things that might need to be worked on, because maybe there's a breakdown in coverage on some of his successful plays that a first string defense might not have. But and I'm not trying to take anything away from it's just more just to get some more information on what needs to be worked on for him to become that starter.
Yeah, but all in all, I do kind of agree with you. I think that performance grade would be like a C, maybe a C plus, just because I do think at times he showed good anticipation. He showed really good arm strength, and he really showed why they did draft him at number 3. But then there was also, he had 3 turnover potential plays, which was the most of any of the rookie quarterbacks. And I think he did show that he also is still young and developing, and the fact that he was late on a few of his other reads. So kind of a mixed bag. In my opinion, I would like to kind of get your opinion. I know you said that he probably shouldn't start this year unless Jimmy Garoppolo gets injured. Do you want to indulge a little more on that, or?
Yeah, well, it is. This is one of the things I think with San Francisco trading up, they were wanting to get a quarterback for the future. And we've already gone over the San Francisco 49ers season preview. With all the people that they have coming back last year, really, it was unfortunate for the organization, because they still had a really good team, made the Super Bowl in 2019. Were a couple minutes away from winning it, but they were just decimated by injuries, by COVID. But they don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the guy, and I don't think that he is the guy long term. I feel like they're going to be moving on from him within the next year or two. But it was good for them, though, to they had the draft capital and they had the opportunity, because they have a very young team, to go and be aggressive and go and get someone like Trey Lance. So, and it really was good to see him, I would say, just finally play on the field. We haven't really seen him play. We saw the one game that he played in 2020, but then we haven't seen him since 2019. And so it was neat to see him back out there. And I know that the San Francisco 49er fans were very excited. I saw reports that the stadium was jam-packed with people. And when Trey Lance came out on the field, it was just a huge cheer of support. So they really want him to be there, and are really excited for him to be with the team. But it's going to be a process. It's going to be a long time. I think maybe next season if he progresses really well, but potentially probably on the safe side 2023.
I think next season is, I think, like the limit for how long it'll take, because I don't think Jimmy will be back a year from now. I will say I don't think he's ready to start. I think he's still probably too young. Needs to get more NFL speed experience under his belt. I could see him starting midseason, but I will say if Jimmy comes in and plays well, I could actually really see like a pretty similar scenario to Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith back when he was a rookie in 2017. They did kind of plan for Mahomes to come in and start at some point, but then Alex Smith was just playing out of his mind, and they just kind of sat him, and then they were just like, well, like we'll do it next year. Then they ended up trading Alex Smith for a third. They got a third round pick out of it, and then the team was, I think, better off in the end. And so I think that is probably a similar scenario to what will happen here, except maybe they'll trade Jimmy at the trade deadline and get like a second or maybe a first for him, because they did trade 3 firsts to get Trey Lance. So I think a postponement to the enshrinement of Trey Lance is probably in store, but you never know. Somebody with his athletic ability, he'll get more first-team reps. He could potentially make a Week 1 start.
Potentially. I would say probably more likely Week 1, 2022. But there is some potential, I would say, that goes on there. One of the benefits for him, if he does start, is the 49ers have a really good defense. So that would kind of help keep them in games. And they also have a fairly solid running game with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson back there. So, but I think just kind of to wrap it up, where would you rank Trey Lance over of the 5 main quarterbacks that were taken in the first round? Where would you rank his performance?
I have him as the last of the 5 QBs. I just think he looked a little raw, held on to the ball a little too long. And while he did have good glimpses, so did all the other guys. And that by no means am I saying like Trey Lance is going to suck. I just don't think he's quite as far along as some of the other guys, but he's also the youngest by far. So that's kind of where I would put him. And so, what about you?
I would agree. I would say that we already discussed the 80-yard touchdown play, which was the highlight reel of his performance. But some good, some bad, and that's where I think I put him last. Because the good, I think we also saw with all the other quarterbacks as well. So still a lot to improve on, but I'm looking forward to watching his next game, though. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyways, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you check us out next time at the Tracy Take. If you have not already, make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when we create new content. And until next time, we'll see you then.